a quick summary, we've got these data sets on two tables, which we named fact table and dimension table. And we've got a business requirement to find the KPIs, to display these KPIs by these dimensions, to display top products and top category by sale, and to insert these slicers. We have so far built the pivot tables to represent those. Last Friday, we had very little time and we decided to insert the slicers, which I have deleted because we said, let's repeat that process and record it as well. So what are slicers? Slicers are the dimensions from our data sets that we can use to slice and dice through our visuals, okay? Take, for example, if you want to look at total sales, maybe by year, or the whole of the dashboard, or a few visuals within that dashboard by year or by payment mode or sale type or category, any one of them, we can put those slicers, which would act as filters to use and slice and dive through the dashboard. That's what slicers are. And how we insert them is we can click on any of the pivot tables that we have. When I click out, we see, if you just observe the top here, when I click out, we see our usual functions here. When I click in, we have these two additional functions which are related to the pivot table. We have this which says pivot table analyze, and we have the design. Okay, very quickly, the design, if I click on it, we have the subtotal, so you can do further manipulation on your pivot table if you want to show subtotals or not, or you want, anyhow you want to show or not want to show your subtotal. It is under the design. You can show grand totals or not show them as well, however you want it. You can report layout in compact form, outline form. Most of the time I go for tabular form, where you want some items repeated, labels repeated. You can do that or not. However you want your pivot table to be read, it is under design. Okay, row headers, column headers, if you want them to show, they are ticked here, because what's the point of not seeing them? And you can change the design of your pivot table from here, whichever color you want. Okay, you see as I hover through, the picked pivot table changes as I hover around each of these, and there's quite a few that you can play around. Okay, that's what the design button, those are the functions under it. But for pivot table analyze, further analysis that you can do with your pivot table, and I'll start with the name. So if you don't want this to be called pivot table 3, by it's automatically assigned the name to it by virtue of which you did first, by position. So the first one that was done was this one. So I would expect that to be pivot table 1. This was the second one, okay? And I would expect that to be pivot table 2. And this was the third one, okay? And it goes on and on like that. That's how it names it. Now, if that name doesn't make any sense to you, you want to change it, I believe you can do that on there. Then we have options under there, where you can go into options and look at, further instructions that you can give to what happens within your pivot table. Okay, we can see the name, the layout and format, totals and filters, displays. So we can click on all of these to, play around with them to see how they actually work. Merge and center cells with labels, for errors error values show, auto fit column with on updates. So see how all of those work. It's good to check what they are and how they can be useful to you. But that's what we have on the options. And then we have field settings as well, so we are quite familiar with field settings. We have insert slicer, which is what we are really coming to. So when you click within a pivot table, you can insert the slicers that we talk about, and you can also insert timeline. Slicers are other dimensions that are not date related, and timeline are the dates. So if you want to insert something that's date related, you would use the insert timeline. So let's, and I won't touch on these ones today, the other functions within pivot table analyze. Let's do that research so that we don't take too much of today's time looking at those. So I'll insert slicer, and here we see all of the fields within our data set. We see them come up. We have category, dates, and all of them, okay? And what our business requirement says is that we should insert year, month, sale type, and payments mode. So we need 4, okay? So I'll go back into that. Payments mode and sale type. I'll click on those for slicer. Okay, I'll okay that. And we have those 2. And you can see that it's automatically picked the theme of the color within the, just so that it rhymes. Can you see it? Pick that, and for year and month, I'll come back here. I actually want to use insert timeline, for that. Okay. And I'll duplicate that. I'll show us how. Okay, actually, let me copy this and see if I can Control V and get a double. Okay, so I need one for month and one for year. So if we come here, and I'm just going to click on year for the one that's going to be year, can you see now we have that in year? And for this one, let me see what we have. We actually have that as month. Okay, so when you are clicking within your pivot table, your slicers, again, or timeline, whichever one. For timeline, while I'm here, can you see you've got an extra here, an extra function that comes up where we can check what and what to do, it's automatically named that date, okay? We can decide that, okay, we don't want it to be called date. How about we call it month? Okay, so let me see if we can change that to month. Okay. So that changes well, and I'll change this to year. Okay, so, and we have that changed to year for us. What else can we do? I want to see if we can report connection. Okay, now for both the timeline and the slicer, they work almost in the same way, actually. Okay, if I was clicking on the slicer, you see that slicer button function will come up. And if I'm clicking on the timeline, you will see. I want to see how we can manipulate this to show the way we actually want it to show. Do we want to change the color? Okay, you have that here as well. If you want whatever you want with this timeline, you can do that here. Height and width. So if you want to increase or decrease the height and the width of it, you can do that here. I wish I could see something that can help me see if I don't want this to be in this horizontal form. Basically, I want it to be vertical. It would be nice to see that. I'm sure it's there somewhere. I've just not played around with it enough. But most importantly, because that's about appearance, but most importantly about function, report connections is really important, and it's going to function the same way as the explanation I'm making here would work with the slicer as well. Okay, so remember that when I was creating this timeline, we clicked on this pivot table, the month pivot table. So if I decide to, okay, say I want to see every pivot table here by 2021, and I click here, okay, we see that these changes, the rest did not have any change because they are not connected. So the pivot table I picked to actually create them is the one they are interacting with at the moment. But I need them to interact with every pivot table here. So if I click on that timeline, we go into report connection, and we can see it's only pivot table 3, the monthly one, this one that's ticked. The rest are not ticked. Okay, so I want this to interact with all of the pivot tables. If there's any that you don't want it to interact with, which is possible, that scenario might arise, then you don't have to tick that particular one here. But I want it to interact with every one of them, okay? All of the 7 pivot tables. So I'll tick that and okay that, okay? So that way, I believe I was working with this, yes? So that way, you see, every one of them actually changed when that was clicked on. Yes. So it's interacting with, sorry, I actually covered some, but it's interacting with every pivot table. So that works well. That's fine. I'll leave that alone for now. We do the same for this one as well. I'm sure it's not working with every one of the, oh, it is actually, it's ticked for every of the pivot tables. So that's made our work easy. Let's see the slicer. So slicer, like I said, works the same way. This is what I was looking for. Let's do the report connection first. So let's click all of the tables. And okay, we okay that. And for payment mode, we do the same. So we have every one of them working with all of the pivot tables now. So that's fine. You know what? For now, let me take this 4 away to the dashboard. Or what should I do? Okay, let me carry on here. I want this slicer to not appear as 3 lines. Okay, so I click on the slicer. I want this to appear all on 1 line. Okay, so if I come to these columns here, at the moment it's telling us everything is arranged in 1 column, but I want them arranged in 3 columns like this, appearing like this. And you may want this to happen maybe due to space in your dashboard, the way you have designed your dashboard. That could be a reason why that needs to happen like that. Okay, for this, I also want the same. Okay, so I'm going to need 2 for this one because there's only 2 items. Okay, so, and I'm just sizing. Within that there, you can adjust your height and width however you want it as well. And further adjustments here, you can play around that to see exactly what that works for. Okay, so it looks like we are getting somewhere. We've got everything. I wish this timeline would give me the option to not to have these not lying down like this, like in a standing up position. That's exactly how it would work for my for my dashboard. If it's not giving me that, I may have to use slicer option to create these two. Or I may have to change my design and make it work like this. It's all your decision to make. If I wanted, instead of timeline for these, if I wanted slicer, let's see what would happen. So I come here to make this as a slicer. If I say date, you see it gives that option. So the best I can do, because I want month and I want year, to make this work, because this date is too many and this is not exactly what I want. The best thing we can do is to go back into the data set and create the year and month field, into this data set using the dates, So if we can do that, I believe that dashboard would look because this is what we want. We want our month to be like this. We want the year to appear in this format, not in the format that a insert timeline is giving it. Okay. So very quickly, I need help. I want to create month from this date. Who would remind us, well, how do we get month out of that date?
We use the text function.
Okay, so let's go. Equals text.
Equals text.
Okay.
Tab. Yeah.
And then we pick the dates.
Yeah, I click on the dates.
Okay.
Comma.
Comma.
What do you want? Months or year?
Months, for month first.
Open double quotes.
Okay.
You can use 4 M's also.
Okay. We 4 M's because we need the full, isn't it?
Yeah.
Need the full. Okay. And then we can close the bracket.
Close the bracket now.
And then we can commit that. Thank you very much.
Enter.
Okay. So let's see if all the months are present. Yeah, we have all the months there. Okay. And we can name that, right? Name that as month. Okay, thank you very much. And now I need the year. So how do we get the year?
Same thing as well, text.
Equals text.
Brackets, click on the date file.
Okay.
Sorry, I just want to ask, for this formula,
yeah,
if you had just typed equals to text, then for the month column, just would it have worked without
the quote?
Not without the quote, without putting the date, what's it called? The date column.
No, you have to reference, it has to reference something to
a date.
extract.
It has to reference a date. It's using the date to create the month.
Yes. Because what you are saying what that formula is saying is that turn these numbers into text. Turn these values into text. So you have to give it a value to turn into text.
Okay.
And that's the value.
Why I'm saying, because I think I've tried it once.
And it worked, right?
And it seemed to work. So that's why.
Yeah, we'll experiment.
No, it won't. It won't. Sorry, it won't. Yeah, you're right. It won't. Sorry, it won't.
Right. But you need to give it a value to convert.
It is a value. You're right. Yeah, sorry, it won't.
No, not sorry. It's all. That's why we are here. It's all part of the learning. So I'm going to refresh our data, our pivot table, so that those two columns that we just created, they would be here. They will appear here. Okay. So let's go into the pivot table, analyze, and see if they are there. So we can see month is here now, and year is here now. Okay. So it's however it works for you. You can. So this is the format I need. I don't want it to appear like this, but if my dashboard requires it to appear like this, then I would have left it alone like this. Okay. And we can see, Yeah, so this would work perfect for the type of dashboard that we want to build. So I'll take these out, and we just need to do a connection for these ones now. So let's see what needs connecting to what. So others need to be connected as well. I think I missed out table 4. Yeah. So we okay that, and we come here and do the same. And then we can quickly do a few items on our dashboard. Bring a few icons in and all of that. Okay, looks like we are all set. Okay, so we just need to gradually start work. Again, let's show what we need. We need something that looks like this. We don't have to follow this to the letter. It is our work, and we can decide on what happens and what doesn't happen. Okay, we can decide on our color. What color do we want? Should we retain the blue or not? Okay, so let's start by creating the background. First, I always like to remove this grid line, all these grid lines that we see here. I like to take it out. So if we come to view under grid lines and we uncheck that, so that we work with a blank background, and then we can decide to give it a color. What color do we want? Okay, so what fill should we give this? Any suggestions? What should we go for? Tell me when to.
Purple.
Purple?
Yep.
Like this. Do we
Yes.
all agree on purple? Everyone okay with purple?
Purple looks odd though. I
Does
don't
it?
know. It
Does
looks
it look
somehow.
Or light.
You said what?
Light purple.
Light purple. This one?
Yes.
Okay, more suggestions. Do we all agree with purple, or we want something else? Go for it, go for it. Let's make it our own. Purple, we got purple already. If no other suggestion, then we'll go with purple.
The purple have it.
The purple have it. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see if there's a way to I wish I could if we go in here and just maybe customize a standard. I want something like a gradient, and I can't remember how to make the background a gradient so that we have a kind of some effect, so that it's not just blank, bland. You know, I want it to have some effects to it. But maybe if we had inserted a whole shape, maybe we'll get that. It looks like I can't get that with this. Standard would be that custom. I don't know what all this is, but no, I can't get what I really wanted to get with that, but let's keep on working. We might get there in the end. Okay, so we have the background. Then we need these bits where we have our shape, and then we insert a text box, and then the icon. Okay, we need a few icons actually. So it's quite, this bit always takes time because this is where you want to, when you build a house and you want to start the finishing touches, it can be quite expensive, and it does take time because you want to pay attention to every little detail. So that's exactly what's happening here. Okay, so I got to insert, and we need a shape to work with. What shape? It's normally the rectangle that we use, but I'm thinking of the rounded corner where if we have something like that, okay, for shape and shape format. So if we sort of format it to the feel of it, gradient fill, we'll need to change the color to something that aligns with the color purple. We need to change the color to purple and then give it the gradient fill. So something like that. Darker versions or this? Should we go for the light version or darker version? You should talk, oh, it's not just my work. Oh.
The light one, the light one, the light one.
This one?
Yeah, let's see how it turns out.
Okay.
on top.
All right. Okay. So we have at least yeah, we have that. We can always amend as we go. And what we have here is it says sales dashboard and then that icon and supermarket. And we always need a text box. So if we insert text box and we do that. So we need sales. So it's all capital, I believe. Sales dashboard. Okay. We can also will format these. We can make it align to the middle center for starting. We can make it Arial. Where is Arial? That needs to be really, really bold. Okay, so for now, I think we can do 20 with. We need the boldness as well. So if we decide to fill it, something like that. Okay, so what more can we do with this? I don't want that background. I want the background to actually disappear. So if we say no fill and the shape, the outline of it, no outline, would that work? I want that line to not be there at all, or if we can change the color of the outline to this color so that it just disappears into the shape. That would be nice. Okay, it's starting to look a little okay. So it would be best to have two screens, have these already open, and then you can just look and work. What's this? What do we call this icon here? What's
It looks like a monitor, a TV or something. You know?
okay? So if we go in and search icon and search for maybe a monitor or something close to it. The closest one to it is what? And we need like something like a bar chart inside it as well, don't we? So
can we search for a dashboard instead? Probably to give us
okay.
something closer.
Yeah, that makes good sense. It's bringing a car dashboard. What more can we do? Charts. So if we insert, okay,
Yes, that is it. It's there.
this one, yeah.
Oh, second
No,
row,
no.
second row, second
Second
row.
row. Yes.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that-
no. Okay, that's okay. There is one close to it to the
This
left.
one.
This
No.
one.
Yes.
This one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's bring that in. We can reduce the size of that. Oh, no. Actually, reduce the size outside and bring it in. Okay. Then we need another text box to say supermarket just below supermarket shop. That's optional. We don't have to put that. So I'll leave that out because of time as well. Okay. We just then need another shape where we'll insert these two slicers. Okay. So if let me see if I can copy this shape. Okay, thank you for the reminder. So we copy that shape and we can bring at least those two, this and this. I'll cut them out. Did they answer me? Said, okay, yeah. So we're going to need to change their color. A lot of things needs changing here actually. Okay. Their color, their size to really actually work for us. Right now, that's not really it. Okay. I can expand this a little more. But we'll carry on tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be able to just go straight into it and make this blend with what we are trying to create. Okay. Do we have any question at all as it concerns